Welcome back to RealVacantLand.com. This is Luke Smith, and I'm excited to be here talking about land. Um, Got a scheduled call coming up with Ben Dow. We're gonna try to do a mailer and make some offers on land, make some cash offers. Before that, I thought maybe we could hit the chat, see if anybody's got any good questions or properties they want to review, and look at the inventory on RealVacantLand.com. See what the new ones are that have come up in the last week or so since we were on here before. And after all this, I just ask a basic question, give some land away, see if anyone wants some more free land. I just updated a bunch of the paperwork on giving land away to people. I sent out letters to everybody that everyone that hadn't gotten land yet, and it said please sign this because the paperwork changed on me giving land away. I got to get you to sign off on it first, so you got to sign off on it before I give you the land. And so yeah, just sign the stuff, and I put envelopes in there if you're just getting those to mail it to the state with the paperwork to get some land. So and money, there's money in there too. So if you got those letters, please sign them and stick them back in the mail. And if you haven't won land yet, stay tuned. We're gonna give some land away today. So let's make sure this everything's working on. All the lights are doing the right colors and stuff. It looks like it's working. Looks like the chat's up too. I lost it, but here we go. So I got it pulled up on the screen. We got a bunch of people in there. And thanks everybody for chiming in and paying attention this fine Monday morning after the time change. We're voting here in California in a couple days to get rid of the time change. Sounds like people are voting for it. Hello guys. And Only Prepper Homestead says, if you haven't won any land before, pay attention and take notes for the question he'll ask at the end. Exactly. I should take some notes and think of a question I should ask at the end. And Fellowship Land Enthusiasts. Exactly. Good morning, everybody. I want to pull up someone else's website for a second because I've been thinking about it a lot. And I've wanted to do this for years. And one of the investors in some of these properties we get into pointed this website out to me. So this isn't my website, and I don't have any affiliation with it or anything, but it's called TL Folio. TLFOLIO, TLfolio.com. And I've been on here a couple times last couple months since I heard about it, and oftentimes there's nothing under the listings, but I was on there last night and there was some listings. And what this is it allows people to sell notes. So a note is basically like, let's say you have some vacant land and you put it up for sale, and someone calls you and says, I can't pay what you're asking for it, but I could put, I don't know, 25% down, and I could make monthly payments of X over the next year or two or three or 10 or whatever, and till it's paid off. And you're like, well, I'd rather have some now than nothing. So yeah, I'll take the deal, and I'll take payments over time, and sign like a bunch of paperwork and stuff, depending on who you're doing the deal with and everything. And then you could call these note brokers. Like there's other ones, like let's see if I get the right thing. That there's Michigan. Well, let me pull up a different one. Let's do Boston Note's a big one. So Boston Note is a note buyer. You can call these kinds of people and say, you know, I want to sell you my cash flows, my cash stream on my note or my house, my vacant land, my whatever, and they'll give you a quote and have you do some paperwork, and the money that's coming from the buyer of that asset will go to them instead of you. And it could be just for a year or two, or it could be the whole thing, or it could be percentages of it and stuff. I mean, there's lots of ways they do it, but they'll give you a quote and they'll wire your money. You know, you do the paperwork for them, they'll send you money. And so they've got guidelines and stuff of what they will buy, won't buy, and how to make the offer. And then if you wanted to make a business out of this, you could find people that had notes, people like me that I've done owner financing with lots of people, right? And you could go to these Boston Note guys or half a dozen other companies like them. There aren't that many that actually fund them. Most of the websites and people out there are trying to flip them to a group like this. And they go get a quote from Boston Note or similar company. And then they come back to a guy like me that's got the notes and they say, okay, here's how much I'll pay you. They know Boston Note's willing to pay them 20 grand, let's say, for the note. And they'll come to me and they'll offer me 15 grand, for example, and be like, oh wow, 15 grand instead of waiting forever for all the payments, and give them the paperwork and take the 15 grand. They turn around the same second and sell it to Boston Note Company, who actually gives me the 15 grand, and the guy walks away with 5 grand, but for just lining up the deal. So there's a lot of people trying to do that. It's promoted by a bunch of the gurus, late night infomercial gurus to do these kinds of deals and stuff. And they've been doing them for a long time, and there's just a lot of people into that. I think it's kind of frustrating to pay the middlemen all the time. I don't like paying the middlemen, so that's why this website I think is neat, because you can sell it straight to investors. So TL Folio, I don't know who set this up, but you can go on here and you can post your note. So if you've sold land on terms, you can go on here and you could do it. You got to create an account and log in, registration. Then you can put your ad on there. So other people that have have already gone through that. So here's a portfolio of notes someone else posted on there. 5 properties in Texas, 70 acres behind them, ranging from 11 months to 48 months in payments. Oldest note has been performing since December of 2017. So a lot of the people that buy notes, they like to have them that have been paying for a long time, because it shows that there's a vested interest, or the person that's making the payments, they actually make them on time and that kind of stuff. So that makes the note worth more money. They're saying the note income of this one is like basically $650, which includes a service fee. The remaining principal's like 18 grand, and they're willing to sell them for 40% off. So 40% discount, that's like 12,000 something dollars. So they sell for $18,000 of receivables. They'll sell them for like $12,000, and then they get cash and they don't have to wait for the payments, right? So there's usually steep discounts in these things when you try to sell them. And then here's like a single note. Let's see if there's a single note on there. I think there was last night. I was looking at this. Yeah, so single note, 20-acre note. Somebody did owner financing on a property in northern Arizona for $325 a month. They've been making payments for 5 months. It's automatic ACH on the 15th each month, and they don't say anything more. But you could click and start asking questions about it, about the details of the notes and stuff. And you could theoretically buy this off of them, or you could probably go buy 20 acres in northern Arizona for, doesn't say how long these payments go or anything, but you could buy them off of ruralvacantland.com for way cheaper. But if you buy these properties and then you go sell them on terms, you could turn those terms deals into cash by going to a website like TL Folio and posting it up there, like posting a little ad and selling it. I think other people post these ads on like Craigslist and other places on the internet to sell paper like this, to sell the deal. Why do I bring this up now? Well, I'm thinking because I've got a couple hundred of those kinds of deals. I'd like to add that onto the website for the guys that are, or people that are selling land on the website, and myself, to be able to turn the monthly cash flow from owner financing properties into cash, right? So I'm starting to work on that, and I'd like to add that to the website soon. And I was wondering if you guys have any questions, comments, like red flags, don't do this, do this. I would like to post them on there with links back to the property that the people originally bought, so you can see what the underlying asset is. You can see the ad, you can see the maps, you can see what they paid and everything. I would like to do net present values of the like a 0% discount rate, 5, 10, 20. I don't know what numbers would make sense, but a series of discount rates so you can see the different ones that are on there. I would like to say what the payments are, how many payments have been made, how many payments are left, how much the down payment was, how many times they're late, how often they're late, how late they are, if they are late at all. Um, I would like to put how they pay. Like almost all of mine, really close to all of mine, are automatic payments. That's like one of my big criteria. It's got to have automatic payments because it's just too hard to keep track of them otherwise. Um, and then, so like if you're selling land on ruralvacantland.com, if you're one of the co-op people selling land on there, and you take owner financing, I would like to make it available for you to post your notes like that, and then other people can buy them. And I think for mine, I would like to offer the servicing so people that buy them um, don't have to do the paperwork collection side of it. But if the person stops paying along the way, they get the land, they keep the land. The person who bought the asset, bought the property, gets to keep the land after the person stops paying. If they stop paying and we can't get a hold of them, can't find them, can't track them down, they say, I don't want it anymore or whatever, and then they can resell it, and that's the asset based, that's the asset that they're buying. It's not a piece of paper, it's an asset. It's not a security, it's an asset that way. And just offer the resale service too, to be able to resell it. So that's one of the new add-ons to the website. It's not up and going yet, but I'd like to get that on there soon. And if you guys need any more questions, so Neil, here we go. Neil Palmquist, would you need to restore your securities license? Here's a good question. So I've had lots of securities licensing in the past that I've let lapse over time because I don't like all the regulations in that business. And I don't plan on selling partials of these deals. I don't want to sell like some percentage or some portfolio of them, or mix or sliced and cutting it up and dividing it. I want to sell the whole thing. And I think to me, that is the asset. I'm selling the asset. It's like selling a pen or a piece of paper, or a million acres of something, an oil well, oil platform, a port. I'm not selling 1/100th of that port or 1/100th of that oil platform. I'm selling the whole thing. And when I'm selling the whole thing, I'm not securitizing it, in my understanding. And to me, that gets around the securities regulations of it. And so that's my understanding of that. If anyone says any different, I would love to hear the reason, logic, why. Max Power saying free land. Yeah, towards the end of this video, I'll ask a question and give some free land away. And Ben Dow is saying, I was thinking of buying some notes off you, Luke. If you service the notes and collections, that is huge. Yeah, so I was planning on servicing the notes and collections and reselling, offering the resale ability if the people stop paying along the way. So yes, Ben Dow, I was planning on doing that. I would like to sell the notes, but I haven't started into it yet. And so I think it would be easier to set up a system to be able to track these things and do it in a way that it makes sense, not just one-off or one-time sale or something. But I think being able to track them back to what property it is that's underlying the thing, that's what you're buying. You're buying that property, you're buying a deed to the property. And I'm doing a contract with you that says you're going to deliver this thing to whoever I sold it to. And I'm going to keep track of it. I'm going to be the one collecting the money. I'm doing the paperwork. We're getting everything recorded. I think I'm going to ask for a deed that's signed and notarized from you, selling that property to whoever we promised to sell it to, get it ready to go. So when they actually pay it off, I can deliver it on time in short order. And not like, so you can't disappear on me. If you die or disappear or whatever, I still got the paperwork to process it and make the person right that bought the property. And so Donnie Wales 656 is saying, so is a note the land or property you're selling or buying? I'm showing an example of how other people are selling the note, the contract. to of. So there's a couple different ways to this. Maybe that's where the confusion comes in. So lots of times, like if you go to a title company and you say, I would like to buy this property, and this person would like to sell the property, the title company will say, okay, let's do a deed of trust or something similar, like a mortgage. And so the person buying the property gets the property deeded into their name, like from day one. And the person selling the property that's owed a whole bunch of money and owner financing from it, they say, I want collateral. I want the property to be my collateral. And so they keep a mortgage or a deed of trust. It's just the name of the paperwork changes in different states and different kinds of transactions. And so that piece of paper is a mortgage. That's a security. That's more nebulous in the paper world of getting into rules and regulations. So that piece of paper usually has options in there to assign it over to somebody, to sell it to somebody, to contract it, sell bits and pieces of it, all, some, none. And so you could sell that thing to one of these note buyers like Boston Note or one of those guys that I have no affiliation with. I'm just using them as an example. And that's selling a note. My version is the person promises to buy this property. They are making payments from day one. The property is not transferred into their name until they're fully paid off. It's more like a layaway program than what people would do through a title company. The differences between both options is if something happens to the seller along the way, the buyer already has the property in their name. If something happens to the buyer, the seller has to collect. They've got to foreclose on them. They've got to do a court process. They've got to pay them to sign paperwork. They've got to talk them into signing paperwork to deed it back over to the seller. Like, hey, you don't have to keep making the payments if you sign this quitclaim deed and quitclaim everything back to the seller. And lots of times the seller will offer them money. Let's say the court costs $2,000 to kick them out. They might offer them $1,000 instead. Just sign this and we don't have to go to court. I know I'm going to win if I go to court. It just takes more time. It takes more money. So let's settle in between, right? So a lot of land dealers do those kinds of transactions, and it's usually a lot more of properties with houses on them as you get into more regulations, as you get into homestead or home rules. So I don't want to get into the rules and legalities of this so much. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an attorney. This is just my land dealer understandings. I'm getting a bunch of questions going by, which is good. This is healthy. Let's see. John Doe is saying, hey, do you need to be an American citizen to buy land? I'm European. I can stay for 3 months at a time without a visa, and a plot of land would be nice for a vacation cabin home base. No, you do not have to be American to buy land. Anybody can buy land. I mean, you don't even have to be 18 to buy land in the U.S. It's you don't even have to sign anything. It's crazy. Like the person that sells it grants it to the person that's buying it. So the person buying it doesn't even have to know that they're buying it or getting it, or you can give it to the church, you can give it to a charity. You don't even have to tell them. You don't even have to ask them. You can give it to somebody you don't like. Here's a property, a bunch of back taxes, and a neighbor that's a jerk. You could deed it over to someone you don't even, you could deed it over to the jerk neighbor. Yeah, Ben Dow's answering that question. Ben Dow's going to come on the call here pretty soon. Larry Ayers is saying, love your site. Thank you, Larry. Thanks. That's cool. That's fun. Let's see. Luke is always promoting someone else. I'm not trying to promote these guys. I'm just saying it's something out there to talk about. I'm competing with them. And so it's good to study the competition. And I think we're going to add something to our website that's a lot better than what's going on over at TL Folio or others. That another website. Let's see if I can pull up Scotsman Guide. I haven't been on that one in like 10 years or something. They might not even be there anymore. but doing house deals in the past, Scotsman Guide. Here, let's flip it over. I'll tell you more about this website than try to navigate my way through it. Scotsman Guide is a website if you like borrowing money, and you're trying to pull off some kind of real estate deal. Let's say it's a shopping center or a golf course or I don't know, a car wash, for example. I was trying to pull off some car wash deals in the past. I just thought it'd be nice to have a cash flowing business that's like just real cash, right? And so I found some car washes that I could buy for next to nothing, and I thought I could fix them up, put some automatic things through them, or change them around, change the marketing, change some stuff, and make them more profitable. I never went through with it, but I was researching it at the time. It's just something cool about having a cash printing machine. Cash car wash sounded like something like that. It's not so much, but so researching that, Scotsman Guide is a place where you can find people who finance weird stuff like that. So you can find somebody who specializes in financing car washes or golf courses or shopping centers or land or building skyscrapers or whatever, right? So you can go in here and they have residential finance people and they've got commercial finance people and they've got news and they've got a lot of stuff. Oh, Loan Post, I think. So maybe that's what I was looking for. They've changed the website since I've been here, but they have a place where if you're trying to get funding on something, it's usually more for brokers than the person trying to get the deal. Like you've got a client that's looking to get this project funded, and if you're trying to put the deals together, you can post that on Scotsman Guide, and the finance people all show up and watch this stuff, and they say, yeah, I could finance that. I know how to pull that off. I know an insurance company who'd like to put the money in for that, and they try to line them up and stuff. And they've got matrix too. So the matrix of it is I want to finance this kind of thing with these settings, and it shows you the companies in the US that finance that kind of stuff, and then it gives you their contact information. You contact them and say, hey, I got this project I want to finance. Sounds like on Scotsman Guide that it's up your alley, and you can start talking terms and numbers and stuff with them and see who's got the best rates. So it's one place to go find those money offering people to pull off deals. So that's another one like that. And so I'm trying to educate guys, not always trying to promote other people. Like no affiliation with Scotsman Guide, but it's a really good tool that you could use if you're trying to finance deals. So let's keep going. I would love to have land in the White Mountains of Arizona. I see you have been advertising some. Thank you. Yes, Jessica, thank you. I think you're asking. I think I might have replied to one of your posts, or maybe not, about White Mountains. We got a bunch of White Mountains properties, kind of more of the foothills of the White Mountains on the website right now on ruralvacantland.com. So if you go in there and you go to the map search and you zoom into the White Mountains, I'll try to keep making videos about the different properties I've got in there, and I'll try to get them all sold. I'm trying to get them all sold all the time, right? But as I present them, I think more people will understand them, see them, and compare them. They're probably the cheapest in the area. And just go drive up to them, take a look, see if they're the ones you want. You can cherry pick between a whole bunch of them on the website right now. You can look at, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40 properties along the foothills of those mountains and pick which one is right for you. Herb's thumbs up, Jessica. Yeah, same thing. Herb, go check out those properties. I'll try to make more videos and present more of the White Mountains ones that I got on the website going forward. Thank you guys. And then we're getting to the questions about the notes. Yeah, so Ben Dow was saying he'd like to buy some of the notes on there. I think it's great. I'd love to sell them to you, but I'd also like to be able to offer you a way to get out of them along the way somewhere. And I just think that's better service. Like, I don't want you to get stuck with one of these things. Life changes, right? Like, finances change, times change. Who knows what happens in your life? And you say, now what do I do with it? So I want these things as marketable as possible. So I think if we set the website up so all the information is there and the history is there, and we keep the data there, open, public, honest, see right through it data, you can study it, others can study it, and see if they want to be involved in these things or not. And so if I set that up on the website, and present the notes that I have, and it'll be a tool for me too to watch the ones that I have, because I'm so busy. I'm kind of scatterbrained at watching the ones that I'm into. I'll be able to go on there and slice and dice and sort and say, why are these ones not performing? What can I do to get them to perform or move on? And if you buy the notes off of there, you're buying the property, right? You're buying the property, and if I keep the servicing going, the people that bought the property for me, they're not even going to really know. Um, I mean, they can know. I mean, it's public, obvious, open, data, but they uh, they could be making payments one month it's going into my account, next month it's going into your account, and then 3 months later you change your mind, you want to sell it, or the interest rates change or something, and why not put it back on that list? Like you buy it at, I'm throwing numbers out there. I don't know what the numbers are going to be, like a 25% discount, and you think, at a 15% discount, you would rather have the money and go do more deals. So why not put it back up for sale at what your walkaway price is? We got all the data, we got all the information, we're keeping track of it. All the payments and the statistics and everything. You'll be able to log in and sort, be like, okay, there's my notes, and yeah, geez, I'd be happy to move on at these kinds of numbers. And you could do the math and figure out what price you'd be happy to move on at, and we can have them posted on the website. Um, Someone might come along and buy them up. Um, so if we go back to this previous website we were just looking at, TL Folio, the ads disappear. When somebody buys a thing, it's gone. Gone, gone, gone. Like this website's been around. I saw it in here somewhere from like 2013. They're doing the same kind of stuff. So they've got like at least 5 years of history of these kinds of deals, and there's nothing on the website. Like the history's all gone. And that's a bunch of information from previous deals that you could be referencing to price new deals, to understand the market, what's going on, what the trends are, what kind of stuff sells, what kind of stuff doesn't sell, and make a more informed decision. That information I think is very valuable, and they just delete it. It's just gone. I mean, maybe they keep it in house, but we can't see it as investors or speculators or whatever. So I want to have that information on the website, so as buyers, sellers, we can make more informed decisions. And then as negotiators, when it comes to selling land to people that want to buy it, we can know what kind of numbers we could probably cash out at too. And then as a buyer buying land, we could kind of look at what's happening in the finance side to see what kind of terms to offer, or what kind of terms might be possible. And people say, I'll give you $48 a month for the next 35 years. I mean, I'm sorry, that doesn't cut it. That's not worth anything. I mean, it's ridiculous compared to the amount of money you're paying over time. The net present value of that it doesn't count. It doesn't make any sense to do those kinds of deals. So you can structure the deals to make more sense with that information there to look at and refer to and everything. Okay, so let's see if I can catch up with some of these comments. Luke, what is a special warranty deed? So a good question. Special warranty deed is the most common deed used in commercial real estate to move assets from one owner to the other. In commercial real estate, people are usually more educated, they're more versed, they're more experienced in doing real estate transactions, so they use a special warranty deed. They like the special warranty deed because it warrants everything from when you got started in the deal to when you're selling the deal. And before it could be from like when Mexico sold the land to some Texan or something, and then Texas became a state later on, and someone else blessed it, and blah 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 blah. I don't feel comfortable warranting the things back to those kinds of timelines. It just doesn't make sense. And commercial real estate, I mean, it just like nobody does that. It's just the people that know better don't really do that. So that's why I use special warranty deeds. They just make a lot more sense. Like when I'm buying properties from people, I have a really hard time explaining to them why they should sign a warranty deed on the property to warrant the thing to back to the beginning of time. And special warranty deeds, like, have you done anything to mess it up? Have you, is there anything you know of? And there's nothing that you know of or you've done then you feel a lot more comfortable signing the thing. Um, Now it passes the blame to the person before, the person before, the person before, until you get back to a warranty deed that person covers back to before time. Um, and yeah, so I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but that's the difference between special warranty deed and warranty deed. So I use a lot of special warranty deeds. I still do warranty deeds for people that ask that really want to. I do a lot of warranty deeds. Herb saying, Luke, I gave you high marks on BBB website. Thanks, Herb. That means a lot to me. Um, I don't think so many people use the BBB anymore. You have Yelp and YouTube comments and thumbs up and social media, all kinds of social media stuff to good or bad mouth people more than the BBB. But I still got some negative things came through on the BBB. I try to make everybody happy. I can't do it. Can't make everybody happy. Some of the stuff just doesn't make any sense that comes through on there. I think I had a half dozen people leave good comments on the BBB website, and big thank you guys. I don't think the BBB website posts much of any of them. They really filter them out, so I don't know how many of them actually got posted publicly, but we'll see. Susan Bailey, Amazing Estates. This conversation is out of my depth. To be honest, it's out of my area of interest. Okay, we'll move on to land here, Susan. We're gonna go, but I think it should be in your interest because it makes it a lot easier to buy land, like on making payments, making terms, and it's good to know for the people that buy land. It's good to know for the people that sell land. I think it's more in your wheelhouse than you might realize, but you can skip it. That's fine too. I dealt in notes, okay, Lonely Prepper Homestead. I dealt in notes ages ago before they became common knowledge to the public. Well, definitely consider land notes for sure. Yeah, there you go. So maybe he'll look at them somewhere along the way and say, geez, this one's offering this kind of yield, and I like the land behind it. I can research the land really easily, and I think that's a huge piece of it. Yeah, similar to contract for deed. So is this like a lien on a vehicle? Yeah, but it's you actually get the title to the vehicle. So and a contract that the person's buying the vehicle, you already know what someone's buying it from you for, and if they stop paying. So let's use an example. Let's say some other land dealers do this as their business. This is not my passion. This is not what I like to do. I really abhor it as the modus operandi, but this is what happens. They sell the property for $99 a month for the rest of forever. 6 years goes by. Person's paid, I don't know, $7,000 or something, whatever. I can't do the math that fast to fly in front of a camera. And so let's say the buyers put down like $6,000 over time, and they're halfway through the deal, and they should pay another $6,000 over the next 6 years, but they give up. Maybe they went to jail. Maybe they had health problems. Maybe life changed. Maybe they met a different girl. Maybe they met a different guy. Maybe something happened. They had a kid. I don't know. Something changed, and they don't care about the land anymore. They don't want to make payments anymore, and they just walk away. They give up. They stop paying, and they move on. It's like having a garage sale. Done. Forget it. And if somebody had bought that somewhere along the way, like the day before that happened, the person that sold it keeps $6,000 plus however much they sold the next $6,000 for. Maybe they sold it for $2,000 or something. And then the person that bought it for $2,000, trying to get the last half of the payments, they get the property and they could resell it. Maybe they sell it again for $100 a month for the rest of forever. I mean, and someone gives up, and they sell it again, and then somebody gives up, and they sell it again, and someone gives up. Some of the land dealers out there have sold the same property like half dozen times. So the people making payments, they stop making payments somewhere along the way, and they go sell the property again to keep the money and sell it again and again and again. So if you're buying these deals, sometimes people stop making the payments, even though you're not paying for the whole property. I mean, it might be a beautiful 40 acre on a river with trees and access and utilities and everything, and might be $100,000 market on the property, and the terms have already paid off like 80 grand of it, and the last 20 grand you're still trying to collect, and you pay 10 grand to try to collect that last 20 grand, and the person disappears, and you keep the property and go sell it again for another 100 grand. You put 10 grand up and buy the property and sell the property again for 100 grand plus whatever payments you get. I mean, there could be huge returns on these things if the people default and move on, which is kind of the shadier side of that business, but it happens. So there's a lot of speculation on what's going to happen, how good the property is or isn't, and all kinds of things. Let's try to move on. A2, good morning, Luke. I got the limited warranty deed to the property. When I go onto the Izard County website and search it, I can't get property size or tax info. Okay, so the tax info, let's do a little sidetrack. So A2 won some land. He's saying, how do I find out what the taxes are on the property? So there is a website, propertytax.ark.org/Izard. So if you just Google Izard County Tax Collector and go through their website, you can find what the taxes are. And eventually you get to this box here and you put your APN number in and hit next, and it'll tell you, well, the next is behind my head, but you just gotta believe me, there's a next, like right in here behind my thing, there's a next button. You hit that and it'll tell you what the taxes are and stuff. I'm gonna make a video about the properties that I've given away. I just haven't got there yet, and so stay tuned. I'll make a video about the property. I might have already made it and it's in the queue and it's coming up soon. I made a bunch of them that are kind of getting rolled out once a day. So that's coming up. Let's go back to my face. So yeah, thank you. I'm glad you got the deed. That's good. Yeah, so Mickey Mort's saying no more like rent to own. Well, some people call it loan to own, like you loan money on the property to own it forever. I don't think that's good. I don't think that's a good business. It's just you're gonna get bit over time doing that. Herb's saying, I got a general warranty deed only after paying the principal. Worked out well. Yeah, there you go. So paid it off, and then you get the deed. Exactly. Redefine living. So you can pay taxes. Government will let you. Exactly. Okay, so I'm going to try to get through these comments. I'm going to get Ben Dow on the line, and we're going to try to buy some land. I got some ideas buying land. I didn't think it'd take this long to get into it. People talking politics. Luke, is Texas land a good investment? I mean, it depends what price you buy it at, right? I mean, it doesn't matter where the land is and what it is, depending on what price you get it at. If it's $50 and the stuff trades for 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000, yeah, it's a good investment. If the stuff trades for 10,000 and you're buying it for 9,000 and expecting the market to go higher, I'm not going to try to talk you into that. But I think if you price it right out of the gate, I think you make your money when you buy it. And buying good price stuff, good quality stuff is huge. And that's one of the biggest sales pitches about land on my website and my arena is the price. I try to get the cheapest price stuff out there. And I try to make it the cheapest price stuff out there in comparables by offering even less than that to the people that I buy it from. It's a pawn shop business model, right? Like, okay, you need cash, you want cash, here's how much money I offer you. You don't have to take it, but if you do, I'll make it easy, quick. I'll do the paperwork, and you can get cash for whatever it is you need cash for, whether you're just trying to have a garage sale and clean out your life, or you need cash to like replace the transmission on your truck that just broke down this morning. I get those kinds of stories all the time. Like, they need cash right now. How fast can they get it? And it's all kinds of different reasons. Like, the bail bond's charging too much. I need cash now. Get my whoever out of jail. I mean, the stories never end why people need cash. So offering cash right now on a bunch of different properties over time brings in these properties at good low cash prices that I can offer for the cheapest in the market to whoever wants them. Now, my approach of making the cash offers doesn't work so well for somebody trying to buy the property to use it, because you don't really know what you're going to get, and it's hard to target exactly what you want without going to see it and everything. So I get all these random properties. I put them on the website, and you can pick through them. You can go drive them. You can look at them. You can look at them on maps. You can study them, and cherry pick the ones that you like. And then I get stuck with the others, right? So, but there's always somebody that wants them. Guys going back and forth. Yeah, 30 acres for $10,000. You're probably talking about the ones that Eric has on the website. I think a lot of those can be split. So, like, I think he's got the cheapest ones in the area, but you could make them even cheaper by splitting them in half or thirds, or depending on the property, right? Like 30 acres, you could probably split up a bunch. And a lot of the Texas regulations are really easy to split property. I've never done the Texas ones of splitting them up, but I'm sure you can do it pretty easily. Buy the 30 acres, sell off 20 to in a bunch of 5-acre lots or something. Maybe you put in a road, I don't know, driveway, and you probably sell those bits and pieces off for more than you paid for the whole 30. And then it's a good investment. Then you're talking about a zero cost basis, and whatever you sell the property for, you're making money. Like, that kind of thing is, to me, a good investment. It gives you a competitive advantage in the marketplace when you think about changing the terms a little bit like that. Okay, I am going to stop answering chat questions for the time being, because we're into this pretty thick, and we're going to try to buy some land. I'm going to show you exactly how we go buy some land at stupid cheap prices. So I'm going to call up Ben, who we were just talking on the morning. We're just talking before this call a little bit. And we've done mailers in the past. We've worked together in the past. So I know this guy pretty well. He seems to know me, and we trust each other, and I think we work together really well. And so we're going to do some more. See if you can hear me on this. See if you guys can hear him.
Hello?
Hey, Ben.
Hey.
Thanks for answering some questions in the chat.
Yeah, no problem. It's fun.
It's fun, right? So we got almost 60 people on there right now. And we're going to get into the real business of this, like buying land, right?
Woohoo! Let's do it.
So, for you guys that don't know, Ben, I don't know if I talk about it or not, but you publish a podcast, right?
Yes. I have it's called Big Time Dreams Podcast, and it's about people that actually love their job. You know,
Okay.
if you have a passion, how do you make it your full-time career? How do you do it on the side? I want to be a land flipper like you, so that's why I'm here, because I really love it.
There you go.
So I hope that you love your job, and I hope that people out there listening will go for it, go for what they want to do.
Yeah.
So that's why I have the podcast.
So
That's why I have the podcast.
I'm not very big into podcasts and listening to them, following them, and how to do it and everything. But I just Googled Big Time Dreams Podcast, and the first thing that comes up is a website, bigtimedreamspodcast.com. This says someone else's name, though. Jennifer Longworth, podcast editor.
No, she was my episode. She was like,
oh, okay.
That's my podcast. But so I actually had somebody from Bigger Pockets on there not too long ago also.
Okay.
Mindy from Bigger Pockets. And Jennifer Longworth was a podcast editor. She just edits podcasts for a living from her house, so she really likes that. So.
Nice. Here's so it looks like you got them posted on YouTube as well.
Yeah. I don't do a lot of I don't have a lot of social media presence with Big Time Dreams Podcast. I just like publishing the podcast, but I need to work on that and be more like you, getting my face out there more.
Yeah. So there's 33. So you're on the 33rd episode, it looks like.
Yeah. Yep. And I publish them every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. Okay. Cool. That's fun. I like that topic. People that love what they do. I think it's so huge. You gotta love what you do, or it doesn't work. It doesn't work in the long run. It doesn't work for your family life, for your mental health, for all kinds of things. For returns, pay, moving forward. I think it's a big thing, and I think it's much more realistic to look for that in today's economy, in today's market, than it has been ever in the past, because there's so much more information available. It's a lot easier to find what it is you love and to be able to work with what you love. And we've got all kinds of tools to do it now, like what some people do always just bends my mind. But you can do it because of the publishing capacities that you have with like your modern
Yeah.
phone. I'm talking Gary Vaynerchuk kind of sales pitch here, but you've got a better than a Gutenberg press in your pocket. You've got better than the guys that used to publish stuff on like network TV, cable TV, like all those things in the past. I mean, you've got that in your pocket now. You can go publish whatever it is you're passionate about, and other people might follow along and blow it up big. I know it's huge. So much easier to do now than
Yeah.
it ever has been. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Everybody, go for your dream.
Go for your dream, exactly. So the dream this morning is Ben and I were talking a little bit before this call. Two different points. We're talking Pima County, splittable properties, and bigger acreage ones that we could split down. And the way the state laws work in Pima County and local laws, so you've got federal laws, state laws, county laws, city laws, neighborhood laws when it comes to splitting up properties. And in Arizona, you can split stuff up kind of 5 ways at the state level by drawing up new legal descriptions and getting them recorded. Now, some of the counties have come up with rules under that, and they said, yeah, not in my county. We're special. We believe that we know better than you, and we want to have grand hoo-ha-ha oversight over what you're doing. We want to be signing it and feel powerful and everything. So they've made up rules. The state says that counties can make up rules up to 10 acres. So Pima County made up some rules, so you got to jump through all these hoops to split land up if you make something less than 10 acres, right? So if we make less than 10 acre properties, you got to go through a lot more BS regulatory stuff. But if you're making more than 10 acres, I mean, we're pretty free to do what we want, right? And back to your love what you do. I don't like dealing with the regulations. So I'd rather go with the ones that don't have the regulations or the least amount of regulations. And so in Pima County, we were talking about going after bigger than 20 acres. Now, I made the mistake in the past of doing this in Pinell County. It wasn't so much of a mistake as made offers there, and I got 20 acre properties that said, okay, I can't split them up because they're 20 acres. They are seriously 20 acres. I was going to try to pitch the case that they're like 20.01, and I was going through every map I could get my hands on and trying to say, like the way the longitude and latitudes lay out and the sections and the ranges of townships. This is a fat one. Nope. It didn't work. So can't split the 20s there. But this county, I think we could set what we're asking for to hair over 20 acres. And so we get the fat ones, and that can be split up into 10 point something and bigger, up to as big as we can afford to swing for. So we did a little bit of poking around, right? Let's pull up the screen.
Yep.
Where'd you go?
And then blue.
What was the first website you went to look up the market?
I was on Real Quest first just to look up how many records there are, but Zillow and LandWatch are the ones that I
LandWatch.
use.
I was looking at statistics last night on SimilarWeb, doing LandWatch versus ruralvacantland.com. Those guys get a lot more traffic than I do. Same with Lands of America. But their land.com website that they promote and they talk about so much, Rural Vacant Land's kicking their butt. That's fun to see. We're just a little tiny website, but we get a lot more action than they do.
They charge too much.
Yeah, exactly. They charge way too much. The fees just go up and up and up. I'd rather offer cheaper land. The beauty about land is it's a bigger dollar price tag that people are paying, right? It's like a car or a boat or a fancy toy. Not a Walmart toy, but a fancy toy. People research it. They spend more time figuring out what they're going to buy and how much they're going to pay. And they go check like every website on the internet. They look all over the place. I don't think you have to pay these people ridiculous amounts of money to get your properties on there. And the smarter buyers come around and they actually buy it. The ones that ask a jillion questions, they're just starting out. I mean, yeah, they start out on Zillow and they start out on LandWatch, and they call up and ask more questions than I have time to answer in the month from one person. And I mean, it's great. They're asking questions. There's Bay. Bay's got one of the cheapest ones out there. Diamond Bell Ranches. Yeah, we're not going to buy land in Diamond Bell Ranches. Bay's got a couple of them. Diamond Bell, $199. I really don't like Diamond Bell Ranches, that neighborhood, because the regulations and that. It's right back to the regulations. I like Bay. Bay's awesome. She's great. She's really smart. But this neighborhood, I've had some property there in the past. Oh, it is really hard to sell because people say I want to move there with my RV or a tent, or I want to just camp out for the weekend and check out the property. Yeah, right. You can't do it. Regulations won't let you do it. The roads are awful. There's no utilities at the bottom end of that bottom end of that neighborhood, and they require you to have like everything going for you before you can move in there and build a house. You basically got to build all the utilities. Yeah, right. Try 21 acres and up. So 21 acres and up on LandWatch. $1,000 an acre. Let's call it 22,000 for 26 acres in Vale. I think Vale is out in the middle of nowhere.
Yep, 30 acres for 25, 25 for 40.
This looks like big old power line running right across the top of it too. Make your hair stand up, power line. The power line properties have been some of the hardest ones for me to sell. They always take longer. I mean, they sell, but they always take longer. Nobody wants to live right underneath the big power lines, which is totally understandable. 30 acres for 25. So as the acres get bigger, it's a little less than $1,000 an acre. 40, but these are a little more than $1,000 an acre. Let's look at Zillow again.
And do we also want to look up 10 acres? Because we want to split them down, right? We want to cut them up into 10.
Yeah, very good point. Let's do that too. So, my interpretation of Pima County is big Indian reservation in the middle, and on the east side, it's like it gets too much like Yuma County. I've had a really hard time with Yuma County. I mean, you can split stuff in Yuma County too, but it's like it's just nothing there, and you start getting to the hot part of the desert that comes off of the Sierra Cortez, so it's like humid hot. It's not dry hot. On the other side here by Tucson, it's dry hot, and it's a lot more friendly to like retirees to come in and retire there. Hence, it's a lot more people. There's a lot more price. There's a lot more action. There's a lot more people to sell to. It's just it's more of an active market. Out on the east side of the county, I'd like to skip that whole thing if we can. Where's Vale?
Vale is right south of Tucson on that 10 highway, Interstate 10. South of Tucson, southeast.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. I don't see the cheap ones popping up in there. I mean, here's 10 acres. 10 acres for 39, 30s. So the 10s. I'm looking at 10 acres and up stuff. For sale by owner, looks like it's been on there forever for 21 grand. Boy, that looks like I wouldn't be excited to show up and find this property, just looking at the pictures. It's like nothing there. Oh yeah, I was looking at this one. I think this is right under the big power line too. It's a bunch of different grouping of properties there. So what we're trying to do is just kind of establish a market a little bit before we go make cash offers to everybody and their brother. This area looks a little more. So we're thinking stuff that we can split, so we can sell bits and pieces of them. So 21 to something acres that we can still afford. And I think the market on the lower end seems to be $1,000 an acre. But if you see down here, the cheapest cheap stuff in the market, which doesn't make any sense because it's been on the market forever, it's just probably bad data, this is $2,000 an acre, $2,500 an acre, $2,500 an acre. So the cheap stuff in the bigger acreage is $1,000 an acre. The cheap stuff in the 10 acres is $2,500 an acre. And so if you could buy it for $1,000 and sell it for $2,500, you got some magic sauce happening. If you could buy it for half of the cheaper stuff and the bigger acreage, and then go sell it in bits and pieces, you got some really big spreads in there. But you gotta buy it for less than half to be able to sell it at half. We're always trying to sell it at half, so we want to sell it for less than what these guys are asking. So if they're asking $2,500 an acre, we sell it for $1,200 an acre. We want to buy it for $500 an acre or something like that down there. And so 500 an acre kind of offers would be kind of half of what the bigger acreage stuff is going for on the low end. And then we might be in business.
So for about 20 acres at $500 an acre, about $10,000 for an offer for a 20 acre parcel.
Yeah, so what is that on the 40s?
Okay, so 40 acres for
20.
500.
Maybe $20,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we could probably go maybe even a little bit bigger acreage too. So if we got stuff that we could split 5 ways, would be nice. It'd be even more economic. Is there any records up there like 50, 55 acre ones, or maybe 60s? Maybe the 60s would be.
Let's see if there are any records in the.
Or 80s.
Oh.
Let's pull up.
I'm gonna look up on LandWatch 50 to 80, Pima County. There are a few. 70 acres for 90,000 in Vail. And then everything else goes way up to 250,000 for 57 acres. It's real high.
Here's 40 acres for $40,000 on Zillow. 40 acres for $55,000. These ones have been on the market forever. And let's see, 75 for 40, 89. So the other thing we're talking about doing is just taking out the middle data. Cut off the bottom assessed values and cut off the top assessed values, and just get the most homogeneous stuff in the middle to make the offers to. I bet you the bottom assessed value gets rid of the eastern side of the county. Bet you it does. So let's see, if we go Arizona, Pima. I should have showed you guys a map of where Pima is, huh? So if you don't know where Pima County is, let's see if I can pull this up on the screen. So here's Arizona. Pima is southernmost county in Arizona, south of Phoenix. It's a really big county, but most of it's government land or Indian land. It's a bunch of national parks and monuments and stuff, and then this Indian reservation in the middle, which is just big vacant land of no data. I'm sure there's something happening there, but it's not in the county records. So Tucson is over here. I think Tucson's like 500,000 people, and the county's like 1,000,000 people. Tucson's got a little airport and supplies and hospitals and stuff like that. It's a big time retirement town. And then Phoenix is south of there. So you get this just really nice weather, dry, solid weather. Doesn't get super cold, doesn't get crazy, well, it gets pretty hot, but not crazy, crazy hot. Yeah, so this is the area. Mount Lemon. Okay, so let's go back to RealQuest. This is where we get our data. This is a database, all kinds of real estate information. Arizona, Pima, and we want to do improvement 0 to 1. Try to get rid of the stuff that's got buildings on it. Land use. Let's see what we got. I mean, we've gone through this on the videos numerous times. Maybe we should do this off the video, just because it takes a bunch of time. You there, Ben?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I totally get it. It takes time to dig through this.
Yeah, so I think I'll basically explain what we're doing. So we're going to take the land use of this, instead of you guys watching me click buttons for a while, I'll try to explain it. Take the land use, and we're going to narrow down to like the residential stuff that would be good for homesteading, things that make sense to fit into ruralvacantland.com that you might want to buy, that you might want to develop, that you might want to run with, and that I could buy bigger chunks, or we could buy bigger chunks and sell off the pieces, and the pieces could be worth more than the bigger chunks, and the way we buy properties probably get them at lower rates than what the bigger ones are going for on the markets anyway. So you get like kind of a stacked effect of ways to make money off it, but still provide the cheapest stuff in the marketplace and beat everybody else's prices, and deliver good solid quality properties to the marketplace that way. So we're going through the government data, the county data that the assessor collects to figure out what to price these properties at, and collecting the ones that have the right kinds of uses that we want to make offers on. So we're kind of looking at the market, seeing what they sell for at different sizes, taking that, regurgitating it into prices that we'd be willing to offer, and mailing it out in a systematic way to everybody that owns the kinds of properties that we want to make offers to. And then we're taking a statistical approach to all those properties that are in the data pool, and we're saying, okay, the ones that have the lowest assessed value, because the assessor has already gone through these properties to charge taxes and said, you know, these ones are really, really like middle of nowhere, nothing going for them, no utilities, no access, no nothing, and I'm just gonna, you know, really knock the assessed value down, so when their tax bill comes through, it's not that much. And then this one over here, this one's got like roads and power, and it's by town, and it's fancy, and it's next to some big resort that just went in for $100 million or something. And I'm going to take their assessed value, and it's going to go way up here. So we're going to, you know, those people are going to end up paying all the taxes. The people out in the middle of nowhere don't pay hardly any taxes at all. And so they look at every single property in the whole county, and they categorize them and they assess them. These are all the vacant ones. These are all the residential ones. These are all the shopping center ones. These are commercial ones, this, commercial that. And they rank them and they rank them and they rank them with their assessed value. And the assessed values change over time as they learn more, as more roads are built, more infrastructure is built, and things happen. If the assessor's on the ball, they'll keep updating the assessments. And we can take that assessed value information and we can do like a Pareto principle. We can say, the top 20% of those properties pay 80% of the taxes. Those ones are the fancy ones who probably aren't going to take our lowly little cash offers. The bottom 20% don't hardly pay any taxes, and those are the ones that are like crazy out there in the middle of nowhere, just like helicopter access or something. We might not want to buy, but the ones in between are much more of the homogeneous market kinds of properties that we want to buy. And so, it'd be a lot easier and more accurate to make a cash offer to those ones in the middle of the stack instead of the outliers on either end, and probably get a nicer return of deals because we can price it more accordingly. And then we'll probably from there we'll go through and look at each little set of data in the county where the county has records of mapping these properties. They keep them in books, and historically they keep them in books. So it'd be a book of maps, and each page in that book would be a page of this little area. It might be cut up and cut up and cut up over time. You draw more and more lines. They might expand it to multiple pages for that area. But we can look up page and book or just book, and in that way we can read through the county, area by area by area, and we can price each little area accordingly to what we think is happening in the market. Like way out in the way out in the west side of the county, I'm not going to hardly put any price on there at all because I don't really want those properties. We might not even send an offer. And then the ones that are closer to the town, I think would be much more valuable. It's a lot easier to go get groceries, a lot easier to get utilities, like your internet might actually work there, and some more people would be willing to move there and make it happen and be willing to pay more. And so maybe we'll up the bids on those properties more. And so that's the basic dance of what we're doing. And to see the specific button clicking of that whole process, there's a whole bunch of videos. If you go back in the YouTube channel to previous ones, you can see me doing that with numerous different people or on my own for different counties and different areas, and running with it. Does that make sense, Ben?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. You
Okay.
explained it. I hope everybody got that.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna cut off the ends of that data set to get like just the meat of the middle, and not send out as many offers as blanket in the whole countryside. We don't have to. So that's one. The other thing we wanted to do today was, that'll keep me busy for a while, doing all the button clicking, making it happen. The other one we wanted to do today is San Diego County. So let's pull up San Diego County. Not the whole county, but let's do a map. So San Diego County is the county that I live in, and I've mailed offers in San Diego County in the past. The properties that I got back were not, maybe because I know too much about the areas or something, I didn't actually buy them. They were rocky, crazy hillside you can't get permits on, and the fire guy is never going to allow you to build on them because of the grade, and getting permits to change the grade is going to take too many years, and it's just not going to happen. So this is a really big county. San Diego County is a monstrous county, and the coast is beautiful, the mountains are beautiful, the desert's beautiful, all the different people. So the people that pay for the coast, they really pay for the coast. The weather is spectacular year round. People pay for it. Prices are sky high. And the mountains, they're higher elevation. The weather is not coastal year round. It changes. Like it's got seasons. The leaves fall off the trees in the fall and stuff. Like up here in Gilian, they're popular for growing apples. Down here it's palm trees. Up here it's apples. elevation changes. And so you've got these mountains and forests up here around Palomar Mountain. I've rented cabins up there, and I love taking the kids up there and climbing trees. And there's a bunch of camps. There's a bunch of when I was in high school, I had an astronomy class. So in northern Michigan, the astronomy building was on Lake Michigan. It was on the beach. And I'd walk out there in the snow, it'd be like knee deep or whatever to get to class. But you get to class, and the classroom looked out at the Manitou Islands and out over Lake Michigan. It's just beautiful setting. And one little piece of that wall that wasn't glass, it had this poster, and the poster was of the Palomar Mountain Observatory, and I think it was 96 inch or whatever the size of the observatory is up there. That's now owned by, I think it's Caltech runs it, or the Rockefeller Foundation financed it, and they built this thing. And it was state-of-the-art observatory at the time. It's still there, and because of the Rockefellers, it's free. You can go take a tour, and it's a tourist site. You can pull in there. It's got a beautiful campground, picnic tables, and you can hike up to the observatory, take a tour. It's really interesting. They still use it. It's still working. They have computers that run it instead of people's eyes, so the eyepiece isn't there anymore. But people from all over the world use it for lots of different telescope stuff. And just mountains, hiking, natural wilderness, forest all over the place. There's state and national forest, different fees for different parts of it. And then there's cabins scattered in between. Some of the properties have horse properties. Some of them are looking out towards the deserts, and some are looking out towards the ocean. So you got both sides. And it's just a beautiful mountain surrounded by a sea of people that can go up there and have fun. So, and it's kind of like time stopped. You go up there and everything's kind of older. It hasn't been happening for a while. But the way San Diego County is hopping, you would think more cabins and places would happen up there. And so that mountain is fun. Mount Laguna here, which is Cuyamaca, like the Cuyamaca parks. There's state parks and national parks. Numerous different parks all merged together in the south end of the county. There's got some fun hiking trails all over the place, campgrounds, cabin rentals, couple lakes, places overlooking lakes. And like the Pacific Crest Trail comes through here, comes through both of these, I believe it comes up. And it's just a lot of nature. And I believe there's private properties scattered in there that are mixed in with the nature. And if we can pick out some private properties in those areas and buy them up, I'm sure we could do pretty well with them. And they're within range. I could drive out there and I could take pictures and I could vet some of the crazy topography and stuff. So I think that would be cool. So if we could highlight these areas, these two areas, and mail offers. It all looks like national park, but I know there's private properties scattered in there. That would be a nice thing. So if we could maybe study the markets on them a little bit, like I haven't studied the market so much.
On Landwatch, there's not that much, so I'm looking at things that are close by, like Valley Center or Gilian.
They're going to be like totally different prices. Valley Center is a totally different price. It's a different person that buys in Valley Center compared to Mount Palomar.
But there's only on Landwatch there's only 2 in Palomar, and they're like 900,000. And I don't even think they're land. I think it's houses.
Yeah. So
on Zillow, there's actually it's kind of weird. On Zillow, it says there was a 40-acre that sold for $2,000. Is there something wrong with that?
No, it should have had my name on the buy side. That's what's wrong with it. We should have been in there making the offer. Now, it might be from like father to son or brother to brother or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's one. 200.
Another one sold for $600,000 for 150 acres. So huge. It was near the observatory.
Yeah.
You were talking about. But one's 2,000 and one's 600,000.
Here's one, 224,000. Doesn't say the size of the property. It's on Kutka Valley Truck Trail. Looks like it's got some oaks. A seasonal stream. You know, there's some beautiful backwoods country in San Diego. Here's the hiking trails all over the place. Yeah, these chunks of land that just they haven't been used. They just really have not been used. They've been sitting there since before time. Somebody split them off way back when. Nobody did anything with it. Like, let's see how long this thing's been on the market. Since February of 2018. Who knows? Like, there's no real data. Huh. 200,000. So I'm looking at a lake, 12 acres. Little cabin on it. Take a picture of some quartz rocks. Say that there might be gold there. Yeah. Okay, so it's like totally blind, huh?
From what I'm looking at, it could be 5-6 grand an acre.
Let's see what this one is.
There's a 12 acre for 30,000. That's sold in Pala. Is Pala close? Is that different?
Yeah, I mean that's down the hill more.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, here's one. Yeah, 12,000 Pala for 6 acres. There's 5 acres. 25,000 it sold for. 25,000 for 1 acre, 1 acre. 30,000 for 12 acres. Let's see.
Yeah, so that's about two something an acre.
Yeah. You know, if we navigate through these areas and we do the same thing, the book and page theory of all the books in the assessor's data that have maps of this area and all the properties in each one of the pages of this area, and we pull the data of them for some smaller size, we're going to see what a lot of them have sold for, if they have the data, if they've sold in any recent times. And we can see more information about them and learn a lot from that data and make offers accordingly. But the other thing that is here is people that would want to sell one of these properties from getting one of our cash offers is they can go look at the market, and they're probably gonna have a harder time than us finding data. It's because there isn't really any. But there's nothing for sale up there, which is a good thing too. You know, we could be like the only ones with stuff for sale.
Some people say it's better to have a lot of properties on the market, you know, like there's more demand.
It's easier to price a property when there's a bunch of properties on the market and you can see what they're going for. But I would rather be in a market where there's nothing for sale.
Okay.
Because you've got hardly any inventory compared to how many properties are out there. It's just not. Look at this one. This guy's mapping out different water wells and springs and historic roads, springs, memorial viewpoint, different views. I'd love to get a chunk of land like this. This is 150 acres or whatever. Sold for $630,000. Yeah, and here's probably the memorial viewpoint. It's a pretty neat view.
Yeah, amazing view.
Yeah. Probably had a little dumpy house on it. I might have looked at this listing in the past. Yeah, it's write your own price land. This is Palma Valley. Just getting into the valley. So I don't think there's going to be that many records to mail to, because a lot of it's national forest. But I think it's hilarious looking at this map, like the green and the splatches in between. You can be totally surrounded by national forests in one of these private properties or valleys, or like people own some of the valleys, and then a lot of the hills and things in between are just green. Like it's not one big chunk of green. It's really a zebra striped, broken up chunk of national forest. Private stuff scattered all over in there. Just got to get some that have access. I think we make the offers and see what comes back. I can go scout the things. 8.80 acres. Yeah, so I think we pull the data and it'll be easier to make offers from there. It'll probably be a different price on Palomar Mountain than Cuyamaca Mountain, but I think they're going to be kind of similar-ish, but maybe a little different. So in the Cuyamacas, I mean, there's properties there like burned down houses and stuff, or fires ripped through over time. There's a little tiny lot for $2,500, $4,000. These are back. This is the back side, desert side. $67,000. See if that's up in the mountains with some trees. 8 acres for $67,000. I think it's going to be hard to price these, but if we get them, I think it'll be really easy to sell.
Yeah.
Everything's sold, and then trying to find stuff that's for sale, it's like not much there. 45,000 for 10 acres. It's been on Zillow for 10 days. No current access to parcel. I think we gotta pull the data as we drill down in the data and pull it off from there.
Okay.
Okay. So I think we got the game plan set. I think we got the logic set, and the pricing isn't going to be in the video because it'll be a last minute thing with all the data that we get out of this. So it's going to be a lot of clicking around on the map, parcel by parcel by parcel, checking the APN numbers, and basically recreating a what do you call it, like a APN scheme of the county or the parts of the county that we're interested in, and then looking at those parts on probably Agent Pro, because you can put a piece of the APN in there and see multiple pins on the map of where the rest of the APNs in that set are, and then mapping it out and making offers accordingly to that, putting all those APNs into our search for the specific sizes that we want to go for and the kinds of land use that we want to do, and cutting off the outliers and making offers to the ones that are in between. So I think if we do that together, we merge both those into one mailer, be totally different kinds of pricing and logic, but I think the phone will ring off of both mailers at the same time. We could buy properties in Pima County and buy properties in San Diego County and get some good deals.
Yay.
So there's the idea. Okay. Maybe let's hit the chat. I don't know if you've been following the chat. Maybe we could go through the chat and see if I missed some questions. I'm sure I missed some stuff. and then give away some
Yeah, I
land.
haven't been following it, but let's see here.
Here's a good one. Skyway says California in general is full of drug addicts. Yeah, probably a bunch of them out there. But California is a huge state. You got to realize there's a lot of microclimates, a lot of different socioeconomic differences between different parts of towns and different towns. I mean, if you split California in half from east and the west, the east half of California would be the poorest state in the country. If you made that a new state, like East California, they're really, really poor. And the western part, I think, would be the richest, still be the richest, few in lots of different measures, ways, parts of the U.S. or the world. I mean, there's a lot of money along the coast. There's a lot of destituteness on the backside. Um, and the drug addicts, I mean, they're spread all over the place. It's not just California. Um, yeah, Maiden Cagnan says, I love rural vacant land. There's one more note on the California stuff. I've sold land in lots of different places. I live in California. I mean, I love lots of things about California. I hate lots of things about California. But people from California, they tend to pay cash for their land. They they pay. They actually have the money to pay. They pay their bills. Like, it just, a lot of the properties in other places, people are, not that there's something wrong with it, but it's like they're asking for payment plans that are like, why not just buy the property? Like, come on, here you go. California properties, they just pay cash. It's easier to sell them when people pay cash. Let's move on. True about Cali, but not everyone. Yeah, exactly. I'm not a drug addict. My family's not. My neighbors aren't. Might be some down by the beach, in the park there.
Owners.
Yeah, exactly. Most of the deserts in all states has meth lab in the desert. Yeah. I mean, I've probably sold properties to people who have built meth labs. I mean, that's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. A2, to hell with regulations. Yeah, exactly. Maria says, I love rural vacant land. Very honest man. I want to buy more land with Luke. Thank you. Thanks, Maria. This is fun. There's a huge land market out there that hardly anybody talks about. And that's what we're here for. That's what this live show is about. Ask questions. I'll try to get through them. If I don't know the answers, we'll try to look them up or find somebody who does. True, but compared to some place like Picture Rocks, Diamond Bell is too far for Pima County sheriffs to drive. There you go. That's very true. So you could go down to Diamond Bell and, just hope the sheriffs don't show up. I bought some land in Diamond Bell and it was really, really, really hard to sell. And everybody that took a look at it, the more they dug into it, get mad at me. The rules are so stiff. Response time is 4 to 5 hours in Diamond Bell Ranch. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. There's different parts of Diamond Bell, like northern parts of Diamond Bell where there's actually utilities. I think it'd be a lot easier to use those properties. It's probably cheaper to buy one with utilities in the north than to buy one of the vacant ones in the south for, like, even if they give them to you, to build the utilities and get them to work. So I think different parts of Diamond Bell are different stories. So I think you could buy Diamond Bell in the north, even pay 30 grand or 50 grand or something instead of getting utilities to work in the south. Isn't Bombay next to Salton Sea? I think so. It's on Route 66 maybe. Herb says, I'd like a container with an A-frame on top of it. Yeah, there you go. So guys, I'm going to promote someone else. I've been enjoying this YouTube channel. Wild, I forget the name of it. Wild something. It's I'm gonna pull it up. What's the name of this one? Wild Wonderful Off Grid. this YouTube channel. They're building an A-frame in West Virginia, and I like the guy is really resourceful and creative at how he like uses the tools that he has to make the cuts and things, and putting this A-frame together and making it happen. And the girl's pretty funny too, but there's only 16,000. I shouldn't say only. They got more subscribers than I do. It was like 2,500 subscribers or something. I started watching this thing. The subscribers took off in the last week or two. It's gone nuts. The last month or two, I should say. But it's a young couple with a bunch of kids running around, and they're making an A-frame house, and they're growing chickens, or butchering the chickens, or growing goats and stuff in their field, and they're going for it. And they're just really going for it. It's fun to watch. So that's a good A-frame build that's happening right now. Let's go back. Let's keep doing comments. Let's see.
The comment says, overpriced places in Pima County never sell.
Yeah, there you go. That's everywhere. Overpriced places in Pima County never sell. It's amazing how much land is out there that's up for sale. It's been for sale for a really long time. And it's kind of like the people that are trying to sell it. It's more bragging rights. Oh, my land is worth $1.2 million. And it's been up for sale for 25 years for $1.2 million. Nobody's bought it. Is it really worth $1.2 million? Probably not. And or whatever the price is, $20,000 when the stuff trades for $2,000 in that area. Just why do you have it up for sale? Why are you wasting everyone's time? Just stop. You know? Prices have dropped tens of thousands of dollars just to flip the place. This is talking about Diamond Bell Ranches, I think. Skyway says people who've never done a drug are weirdos. There's the other side. Let's see. I just keep reading through these, see if there's a good question here. The guy's talking back and forth. Richard says, where can you get a home under $10,000 but in Detroit or Ohio?
You know about Detroit, right, Luke?
Yeah. I was going to ask you.
Well, I live in St. Louis. And
yeah. Can you get them under? Can you get them in St. Louis under 10 grand?
Yeah, you could. It's going up now, but I mean, of course, it's the worst neighborhood here, and nobody wants to go there. But there,
yeah,
it's possible to buy a house for 10 grand in St. Louis.
Yeah, you can do it in Arkansas too. Arkansas's got them. I think I bought all the better ones, but I mean, I'm not even there doing the research. So you could, if you went to the state commissioner's website, Arkansas State Commissioner, and you started looking through all the different properties that are up for sale on their website, you can pay the back taxes and get the property. It's I think there's a bunch of them in there for under $10,000. You want to go make sure that the house is still there. Sometimes they've demolished it or removed it, or neighbors have, or some, the city has, or somebody has. But a couple of them I bought were gone by the time I got there. By the time I got a buyer there, it's kind of disappointing. But I paid so little for them, I didn't really care. So I think you can still get them in Arkansas for under 10. But the back taxes are murderous. Yeah, Detroit back taxes are bad. I hired a lawyer in Detroit to go after the back taxes. Not the back, but the current taxes. The current taxes on some of the houses I bought in Detroit. They did a really good job. I mean, they would fight it at the state level and get the taxes lowered than the city level. And they'd get them cut in half like a couple of years in a row. Take the taxes from like $35,000 or $4,000 a year or something down to like $800 a year. That's pretty cool. So that place a ghost town even with cheap property tax. Detroit's been coming back around just like St. Louis. A lot of these towns have been getting regentrified. Lots of the stuff's coming back to life just because of the price. Best cure for low prices is low prices. West Coast, East Coast. I think you're gonna have a hard time in the West Coast buying houses under 10 grand. I think East Coast or Rust Belt's gonna be more like it.
Hmm.
Um,
I think you can get some cheap properties in like Buffalo, Buffalo and
yeah,
Syracuse. I don't know about
it's
10 grand, but I think you can get it for probably 30
yeah, you get some
before you could.
yeah crazy taxes there too. I think you can get some cabin kind of properties in the South, way south, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana kinds of things too. I don't think they're on the website so often though. Aaron Fairchild, Luke, make it happen, Smith. There we go. San Diego County is full of gay real estate flippers that want way too much for parcels. Yeah, because they're used to the cost of living here, and so they need to pay for it, so they price it into their flips. There's a college in town that like specializes in real estate. I can't think of the name of the school right now. It's up on the hill. It's like one of their biggest classes, real estate. So there's a bunch of real estate people around San Diego. Yeah, San Diego's hard, very expensive for basically desert land strangled by regs. Yeah, so the desert stuff in the back, try to stay away from that. The coastal stuff, people have figured out how to make that work because the prices are so nuts. And the stuff in between is just sitting there. It seems like that should happen. Imagine how much this guy would be if he stayed in the corporate world. I'm missing stuff here. Okay, I'm starting to catch up. Matthew Richter says Luke does drugs. I saw him drinking coffee the other day. I don't even drink coffee, guys. Aspirin, Advil, like I've never even taken those things ever. Um, Skyland, San Diego County has huge land lots from 4,000 and up. Okay, I'm trying to catch up here. Jarrett Curley is saying, have a good morning, y'all. Good luck on getting some that Arkansas land. All us winners should get together and have a block party next year. Yeah, if I keep giving away the same stuff in Arkansas, I'm going to run. They're not going to have any more land. I was looking at it this a couple days ago because I was doing some more paperwork. I'm like, I almost gave it all away. Like, either bought it or gave it away. I mean, it's almost done. I'm gonna have to get more creative on land to give away. San Diego price is so blown out, it's ridiculous. Good idea. Yeah, good to know our new neighbors. Yup, guys, doing peace. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for answering questions, winning land in the past. Sorry this one's going so long. I'm trying to get to the bottom here and give some more land away. Ben, maybe you could think of a question to ask people from earlier on in the video. If you were watching earlier on, you could think of a question like a simple one word.
I have a question.
One word. Let's get there. Let's just hold on to it for a minute here. We're gonna ask a question, give land away soon. I'll just see if there's any more good questions in here to answer. Someone's saying, is the average price for an acre today around $2,500, and it totally depends where and what you can do with that land. I mean, the price per acre, I don't think there's any rule of thumb what a price per acre goes for. If it's agricultural land, it might be more rule of thumb-ish, but the eccentric stuff off to the side in the hills and the foothills and the mountains and homesteading land, it's different prices all over the place. Rules, regulations, location, access, weather, sizes, lots of things. So many different ways that prices change. And that's part of this business model too, is there's no real answer. Everyone says, no, the price is this, and no, the price is that. All the prices are different, and so we just make up our own price, and people go for it. That's the price. Yeah, so Ben, what's that question? This question is for people that have not won land before, that don't work with me or for me in some regard, that are new to this basically, or have been trying for a while. Answer the basic question, I'll give you a piece of land. And the new way I'm giving land away is I got to get you to sign some paperwork to get it through the state, and you just sign some stuff, send it in, and it's not 100% for sure that you get the property that we're doing the paperwork on. You might not. Numerous ones I've tried to get turned down. Then we'll go try another one, try another one, try another one until you get a property out of the process that I'm doing to get these properties. I don't have to put up a whole lot of money, but I got to do some paperwork and it takes some time. Usually takes a couple months to actually get a deed on the property, but then when you get the deed, you can go build on it, use it, sell it, give it to your kids, grandkids, whatever you want to do with the property. And sometimes there's crazy taxes on some of them. Some of the properties I got came back with some crazy taxes, back taxes, fees that weren't paid and stuff that I didn't know about. And if that's the case, like crazy taxes, it's probably easier for me to just go get you another piece of property instead of paying the fees on them. Just let me know. But if it's like lunch money or gas money kinds of dollars, you know, I think you're better off just paying the tax on it to use the land, because I'm sure you can sell them for more, and or have me sell them for more. So there you go. There's the disclaimer spiel. Ben, what's the question?
So I have a podcast called the Big Time Dreams Podcast.
Nice.
It is about people that love what?
That's a good one.
What do they love? What do they love?
Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up the comments, and you can see. So we can see this live going by here. You might have to like zoom in something to see it. There's a weird noise going on in the background. I don't know what that is. Street sweeper going by or something.
I hear it.
I don't know what it is. So, call me. People are going off. So what did I even say? So you want to repeat that question? See, because we haven't seen anyone answer it. There's a little bit of a delay, but I'm sure they'll kick it out soon. But what's the question again?
Okay, so I have a podcast called Big Time Dreams Podcast. It is about people who really love what? Gone Prospecting says their work.
Their work. That could be it.
Their work.
You think that's
their
it?
job, their work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No.
Gone Prospecting got it first.
Okay, so Gone Prospecting. Gone Prospecting, have you ever won this before? I don't think he has. Let me pull up my my list here of who's won this. It's a little harder and harder the longer this list gets to pan through it. I don't think he's ever won before. So Gone Prospecting, I think I already got the paperwork ready. I'm just going to put your information on there. So what you have to do is you have to email, let's go with it, Gone Prospecting. I don't think you've ever won before. So let's send your email to Gillian at ruralvacantland.com. It's my assistant. She answers the phone, and she answers all kinds of emails and questions and text messages, stuff all the time, like 7 days a week, going crazy sauce and trying to keep up with all you guys. And so if you could email her, I just pasted her name and email in there, Gillian at ruralvacantland.com, and email her what your name is, your contact information, like a phone number, mailing address, because we want to mail you the deed. What else goes on there? The title. We want to know what title you want to own the property in. So if you want to own this property as, you know, your personal name, or you and your spouse, or you want it in your kids' names, or you and your kids' names, or your company, your trust, your whatever kind of name you want to own this thing in, please put that into the email and send it over. And what I'll do is I'll send you a letter that asks you to sign some paperwork and send it into the state, and that will get us that'll get you a shot at the land. And then it'll take some time for that paperwork to come through, and then eventually they'll send you a deed. If they send you letters about rejection, denial, something else, please let me know. Let me know what the letters are, and we can act accordingly to make the next move. Either change the offer, change the bid, change the property, change something, make it work. So there we go. Thank you everybody Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Ben, for coming on the call. I think we got everything set. It's going to take me some time to do these data scrubs and put this together and get the offers out in the mail. But
Yeah,
I
just call
think,
me soon.
yeah, it's I gotta take a bathroom break here too. So we're gonna hang up for the day and just thank you everybody. Thank you. If you this is the first time you've seen one of these videos, please subscribe and come back again next Monday morning at 9 a.m. for another shot to win some more free land. I believe we're gonna do this again this week on Wednesday. I've got a one lined up and maybe Friday as well. I'm not exactly sure the times and stuff, but I'll probably give away some more properties throughout the week as we do more of these live calls and mailers, get some more offers out there with a couple other guys too. So thank you, Ben. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to hang up and talk to you guys later.